The Wheel of Time, an epic fantasy series based on the beloved books by Robert Jordan. The show transports viewers to a world where magic exists, but only some get to wield it.
The drama continues with season 3 out tomorrow. Here's a peek.
What if the others are working with Leandrin? Let us stand with you.
You know, men can't enter the hall without just cause. Mother has closed it to all who are non-sitters. And she has a plan for the rats.
All right, and featured in that scene is our next guest, actor Taylor Naiper. Great to have you here, Taylor.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
What's going on? This is being compared to Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, right? So how would you describe what exactly this is?
You know, I think it is a big fantasy epic.
Okay.
There's a little bit for everyone. You know, if you like swords and women doing magic and all of these incredible spectacles, then it's got something for you.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times when you're an actor, you try to pull on something from your life. You know, pull it up from the depths.
Yeah.
What is it like to step onto the set and to then become this world?
You know, I think the coolest thing about this show is we try to do everything practically, so they build all the sets around you. So when you go into this world, everything sort of feels like you're stepping into this mythical place of you know, crazy things that are going on with swords, and it's one of the most magical kind of experiences as an actor to have this thing created around
And
you.
then do you have to work with the CG as well? So
You
you've got to do that too?
So a lot of our characters can do magic, or they can channel, is what we call it. And so they are able to draw on the one power to make fire, rain, you know, send electricity through the air, whatever you are thinking. And so you have to be cognizant of like what's happening around you, because sometimes if you step in the wrong place, you might be getting electrocuted or you might be getting set on fire. So as an actor, you got to know where everything's happening.
Yeah, so, and you began, it's interesting for your character, right? Because you began as a guest star, then we're in a little bit more episodes in season 2, season 3, now you're a full-time cast member.
I am, yeah.
Let's talk about your character and how it kind of fits into the arc of the full story.
So my character, I play something called a warder, which is basically like a knight or a bodyguard to an Aes Sedai, who is basically a woman who can do magic. And they are a part of the kind of, I would like to call it similar to like the Vatican or the Catholic Church. So they kind of oversee everything.
Yeah.
And they're looking for this person called the Dragon Reborn, who is basically the person that will either save the world with their magical abilities or destroy it. And they want to guide him or her to be all that they can be, essentially.
And so talk about your character, Maksim. And am I saying that right? Maxim,
yeah.
And so which parts of yourself are you able to weave in there, and which are the ones where you're like, wow, this is completely contraindicated to my personality, but I'm going to dive in anyway?
Well, you know, I've had to learn how to do a lot of fight sequences. Maxim's pretty great with a sword. He's pretty great with a bow and arrow and a spear, and that's not something.
That's fun training.
It's super fun. I mean, it's hours and hours. I've gotten in really good shape because of it, but it has been, it's certainly been something that I've had to learn to do. And also, I don't know if you saw in the clip, but I have to do a British accent on the show. So that has been something I've also had to sort of perfect and learn.
You've been definitely climbing the mountain on your skill sets.
Yeah.
I have. I've definitely leveled up the last little bit.
Were you a fan of this world, kind of before this genre, I guess? Like were you a fan of Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I mean, I loved Game of Thrones. I had several friends who worked on that show, and you know, obviously it kind of changed television away. Yeah. And to be able to come in and do something like that with Wheel of Time has been an epic thing.
Yeah. What is, I guess, like is it about that kind of genre that draws people in? Because it is so mythical and kind of like different.
You know, I think it's close enough to our world that it feels familiar, but far enough away where it feels like anything can happen.
Yeah.
And so I think
you can kind of get lost.
You
and
can get
step
lost.
Step off the wheel of life a little bit.
You can escape. You can escape. And the rules are a little bit different. You know, it's poppy. At least on our show, there's lots of colors. There are mythical creatures. And anything feels like it's possible. And also, there are good guys and there are bad guys. And it's very clear who's who.
Well, that's like real life.
Yeah, that's true. There are good, but it's not always clear. It's not always clear in real life.
Yeah, and that's the same thing in our life. You know, you had a couple of wacky jobs before you started this whole full-time, successful acting gig. Give people hope if they are trying to be you.
I mean, look, you just have to keep going. You just have to keep trying. Like I have shirtless bartended. I have done.
People would probably be happy to see you back in that role.
You never say never. It could happen. Could happen on the show. You never know.
Right.
So I've done a little bit of everything. But if you just keep going, keep chucking it along, it'll be great.
All right, Taylor, great to have you. Congratulations. You'd never know which one of us was the good guy or the bad guy.
I can't tell.
Bad. Both of us.
That's what I thought. That's what
exactly.
I thought.
Season 3 of The Wheels of Time dropping on Amazon Prime tomorrow. 3 episodes, then 1 episode each week after that. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.